Hey there guys, Andrew Douglas Lane here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, where I review fragrances from the cheap all the way to the luxurious, niche, and expensive. Today we're going sort of in that middle line, but for me, I cannot wait to talk about this because this is DIOR Homme Intense, obviously by Dior. This is an eau de parfum. On the other hand, it is absolutely intense, as the name says. To get started though, I'm going to tell you the price about this because I absolutely love what you can get this for. I believe full price, this is a 150, so this is 150 mil. You're looking at 5 fluid ounces. Also, they have the 3.4, they got the 1.7, and you can get travel sprays. But even for this, I believe full price, this goes for 175, something like that, which for 5 fluid ounces, that's not very bad for 150. I think it's also like 130, something along those lines, if you was to go for, that's US dollars, if you was to get the 3.4 or the 100 mil. And for what it's worth, honestly, that's an excellent price because I'm a price stickler, and for how much you get out of it, for something that actually does last quite a while and has a good fragrance behind it, that's great. I'm going to talk about the notes real quick. Lavender, pear, powdery iris, or musk mallow. I don't know what that is for amberette, but the powdery iris, vetiver, and Virginia cedar. It says this came out originally in 2011, but it is so classic and yet unique in the most gorgeous possible way. I almost think of this in the same family at times because of bottle shape, but in general also just like the fragrance profile, it's completely different. But in a way, I think of it in the same type of family as if you was to have this and also have Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. Again, they're not the same, but they have like a family type of feel to them. And then also they look good next to each other because they, again, are similar bottle structure. But the fragrance, it's just, look at this. Look, you got a nice atomizer. All Dior atomizers are pretty incredible, but the way it comes out, it's beautiful. It's not too dense, not the highest concentration of oils in the entire world, but it comes out in such a beautiful way from the atomizer. But immediately, this is a room filler. And I love this. I don't know what it is about this, but it just, like I said, this has such a classic, like 1970s, 1980s, you just, with a rich man by the beach. I've never been there. I don't want to be there. But if he was that guy who's just walking with nice linens, hanging by the ocean, or sitting on a skyline watching the sun come up, pretty much anywhere in the world, it doesn't really matter. This is just what I see, but it's beautiful. Florals, ambery, you've got that powdery iris, but it doesn't smell feminine, and yet at the same time, I personally think that even though it's homme, meant for men, I think anybody could probably wear this. My wife loves it, put it on her skin. Even on her, it didn't feel odd or off coming off of her. It's like right on that beautiful brink of it is masculine, and yet could be worn by pretty much anyone. Don't get me wrong, any fragrances could be worn by anyone if they'd like to, so I'm not saying that you can't. But this does lean masculine and yet somehow just has that beautiful bridge where it can go either way depending on who you are and it fits your personality. But like I said, it's just so... something about it is just so classic to me, and yet it doesn't smell like, if you know what I mean by when I say this, a mall fragrance. There are so many classic men's fragrances that are more mall fragrance oriented. It's something that you just kind of like remember going to the mall as a child or even to this day. And every guy, or if you go into like a Macy's or a Belk, everybody smells like such and such. Everybody smells like this. Even Dior Sauvage or all these things like that. Like it's just like, I know people are going to smell that way at the mall. But this is just so beautiful and rich and bright and vibrant in every possible way. And it makes me feel so good. You can probably tell that by the way I'm talking about it. But I love this. I didn't even know, I've never smelled it before. I never gave it a chance in any of the stores. You can go to Sephora and places like that to try this. I had never even done that before getting this for a video. I was like, you know what? A lot of people talk about this. These videos seem to be pretty popular. They do pretty well. I'll give it a shot. And for some dumb reason, but not a dumb reason, because of the price, I figured I'll go ahead and get the biggest one they got, even if I don't know if I'll hate it or not. But hey, could have made a great gift. But to anybody who I might have given this to, I'm sorry, I'm keeping this forever. But, oh, it just sits on the skin so well. It latches on. I've gotten fantastic longevity. This is not a massive projector. I mean, maybe on you, but on me personally, I don't get a lot of projection off of this for an extremely long time. Sillage on clothes and so forth, and like maybe on the back of the neck, I think I got maybe like 3 hours or so of like just coming off pretty well. In general, passing by people when I put this on my clothes, you know, maybe like 6 hours or so, they'll still get a good whiff if I'm walking by at a decent pace. Not running, of course, but we're not like, hey, did you smell me? But like if I'm just walking past people, like I've had confirmation that it's still there. On the skin though, as a skin scent, I've gotten a good solid for what it is for an eau de parfum of its caliber. I've gotten a good solid 7 to 9 hours of just being there in a very verifiable, smellable way. And then it becomes like very, very faint to the point of almost not existing, but you can still tell that it's holding on by a molecule thread at about 10 hours. But again, that's just very, very faint. So this isn't like a beast. This isn't just blasting off of you like crazy. You can, but the price is so good. You can get a bottle of such a good size that you can just reapply it if you want it to keep being strong and radiant. So again, I might be off a little bit on my time frames. I'm not entirely perfectly sure, but I do know that it has good longevity. It has decent projection, especially for the first little bit that you're wearing it. But in and of itself, good enough price that you can just keep it with you, reapply as needed. And if you really want to just blast off of you, but either way, it will last on your skin for quite some time and be very pleasing all the way through. The smell is just so relaxing, calming, in some type of way, like beautiful, sensual, just very much inviting. That's what I would say this is. It's not a loud statement maker like an Amouage or something like that. It's not powerful in your face like Dior Sauvage Elixir, but it's just very much unique. I haven't smelled this personally on anyone around me in my life, and I know a lot of people who love fragrances at this point. But again, it's not the most unique thing in the world, of course, but it really will just help you stand out and yet still smell elegant and classic and like you are just a certain type of person. Very relaxed. I think anybody could wear this. I think it has an extreme mass appeal to it. It's going to be familiar and yet beautiful and yet still slightly different at the same time, even if that sounds contradictory. So for the price, the longevity, for what it does give with its sillage and its projection, and for overall the quality of it, I would say they knocked it out of the park. And I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I love it. I cannot recommend this enough. I say Dior Homme Intense, please. Please. I haven't smelled the toilet. I don't know about its abilities, its projection, and so forth. I believe there's also a parfum. Haven't smelled that either. Give it a shot. Maybe at some point I will. But this just sits right there in that perfect little zone. So Dior Homme Intense, 9.5 out of 10. Highly recommend it. It's beautiful. It's classic. It's different. It's regal. If you get the chance, go put your nose on it. But I think that you'll love it and just want to have it in your collection. So thank you guys so much for watching. Andrew Douglas Lane here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel. These are my thoughts about Dior Homme Intense. Again, 9.5 out of 10. Everyone's welcome on my channel. I say I love you and God bless each and every one of you, and thank you so very much for watching my videos. And tell me your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell me what you'd like to see me review, and tell me what you think about what I've already done. And tell me about your personal favorite fragrances. I'd love to hear them, and I'd love to go back and forth about those types of things. Everyone's welcome. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.